Organization, by its definition, is a system of production which includes members in it and channelize them into the structured working system to attain a particular goal. Now, organization is the most important part of the developing society and the developed society as well. Without organization, we cannot have a proper picturesque of a society. Organization is the subset of the social system nowadays, because our health system, our education system, our political system, our nation, our medicine and basic living standards and basic living processes all are dependent on the modern organization. Nowadays, organization is changing its nature from producing to service, from business to entrepreneuring, now from industry to some other sector. Now, organization is the first concept to be cleared in our mind in order to understand the entire scenario of organizational behavior. Organization is the subset of the social system at its introduction. Organization is changing nowadays. Organization is facing lots and lots of challenges. So this is why we are studying the organizational sector, organizational behavior, that how we can create a better organization in order to work in a better environment. That will not only enhance our individual status as a peace of mind, but that will enhance our productivity as well. That will enhance the standard of living for all the individuals who are associated into the organization. First thing, organization starts with the members. So, organization is the collection of individuals or the collection of its members to work with, but at the same point of time, organization is serving the other members of the society or the other individuals of the society. Now, following the definition, we have some features of organization as well. The first feature is the structure. Every single organization does have its own structure, does have its own structure to work. That means members are defined, membership is also defined, the work is defined, the goal is defined, the purpose is defined and cleared, and the environment and the rules, regulation, policies and the future plannings, everything is structured, everything is cleared, made clear by the organization. Next feature is the process. That means every single organization does have its own unique process to work with. Now, what are those processes? It can be an authoritarian process, it can be a volunteering process, it can be an enlightening process, it can be inclusive process, it can be exclusive process, and there are n number of processes in organization. All the organization does follow their own single process or their own single motives of the processes. Next is power relation. Power relation is another feature that expresses the idea of organization. Power is something which defines the status or the character of the organization. Whether the organization is working with a lenient power relationship, whether the organization is working with strong power relationship, it all reflects on the character of that particular organization. The last is responsibility. In every organization, all the members and the group and the management system does have their own responsibility. That means the work is divided, the purpose is clear, and everyone knows what to do and how to do and what not to do as well. That is called the entire responsibility. The next part is components of an organization. Components, the first component is member, because without member or without the process of membership, no organization can exist. The first component is the member. Every organization should have their membership. They should have a proper process to include their member, to select their member, and then to channelize those members through different departments of the organization. So, after the features, there are components of organization. Components of organization includes at its first the membership. Without membership or without individuals, we cannot start with an organization. Now, what is membership if there is members in the organization? Membership identifies the process or the concept of how you would include the members in your organization. That means how you are processing the members into the organization. The second part is rules and regulation. Rules and regulations are another important concept of organization. That is, modern organization tends to have or prefers to have their rules and regulation written most of the time. Why written? Because written rules and regulation is the most transparent version of dedication and of equal standard. The next part is components. The first component is membership. Now, what is membership if there are already members into an organization? Membership clears the idea or the concept of the process of taking members into an organization and channelize them through the departments and sub-departments of the same organization. That means recruitment, placement, and the development of the individuals or the employees. That is called membership of an organization. The next part is rules and regulation. Every single organization does have their rules and regulation in written in most part of developed society as well as developing societies. Why it is written? Because written version of rules and regulations are declared or are believed as most transparent version, and it creates a belief or a sense of standardization of equality, standardization of equal right. If the rules and regulations are written, that is visible and accessible to all the members of the main or the core organization. That creates a feeling that if I know the rules and regulation of my organization, then I can stand for my right, and then I can have my own purpose to be into this organization. Next one is distribution of power. Distribution of power is very, very important component for every organization, because power distribution actually derives, or actually the main component which reflects the nature of that organization. Whether the power of distribution is centralized, centrally processed, or the decentralization of power is the main component of the organization, that creates huge differences between two organizations. Next one is distribution of work. Now there is difference between distribution of power, that means distribution of authority relationship, and distribution of work, that means distribution of responsibilities. The individuals who are selected for certain organization, they would be performing certain work with their roles and responsibility. That is called distribution of work. In other words, it can be termed as labor division, division of labor, or distribution of labor. Now, before I conclude this part, I should make a question, or maybe I should raise a confusion into this. Then how we are going to remember the feature and the components? Because for us, there are some numerous feature and there are some varieties of components. Now, what is the difference between features and components of organization? Features is the character. If you consider a human being, if you consider me, my feature would be different from my components. My body parts would be my components, my intellect would be one of my components, but whether I am an angry person, whether I am a short-tempered person, whether I am a patient person is my feature, not my component. But if I write with my right hand, if I'm writing with my right hand, this hand is a component. If I'm using my specs, this is a component. So if I consider components of a organization, that implies the parts of the organization with which the organization works, and features are the qualities, are the advantages or disadvantages, challenges, prosperity. These are the features of an organization. There are last part of organization, that is typification of organization or types of organization. There are only two types of organization available in broad sense. Those are formal organization and informal organization. The last part of this discussion is the typification of organization, or the types of organization we can have. There are only two types of organization. One is formal organization, one is informal organization. But with the limitation of this course or the limitation of this study, we would only consider the formal organization, not the informal organization, because we are taking organizational behavior of a working environment. So we would only consider the formal organization, not the informal one.